Nonfiction November is almost here. Are you ready for it? Are you going to be participating in Nonfiction November? Here's a little teaser of what I will be doing. Hello, welcome to my channel, Another Bibliophile Reads. My name is Greg, and I am participating in Nonfiction November 2024. This is an event created and hosted by a book olive. And it is an event that encourages people to read more nonfiction. If you are just regularly a fiction reader, the idea is to pick up a book of nonfiction. If you are a regular reader of nonfiction, the whole idea is to pick up just a little more nonfiction than you would regularly read. I read some nonfiction, usually 1 to 2 books per month. When I am a judge for the Nonfiction BookTube Prize, I can sometimes get up to 4, maybe 5 books of nonfiction per month. So my goal for November is tentatively 5 books. And the whole idea is just to encourage people to read nonfiction, enjoy it. Nonfiction is often just as enjoyable and just as exciting as fiction. Now, in my personal opinion, there are some academic works of nonfiction written for and to be read by scholars in their field, and that's not what I am going to be choosing. Every year, Olive selects 4 key words to help people select nonfiction works. You do not have to follow these words rigorously. You do not even have to follow them at all. It's just an amusing way to help you wade through the wide selection of nonfiction works. This year, the 4 words are code, path, shot, and join. As I said, I will be following them rather loosely. And if you want to follow them in a different way, just do it your own way. I may have to be a little loose with my calendar for Nonfiction November. Some of the books on my TBR are coming from the library, and I don't really have control of when those books come in. So it's quite possible that I will start a few of these books towards the end of October and just say they were read for Nonfiction November. For code, I am going to be reading Ian Fleming, The Complete Man by Nicholas Shakespeare. This is a biography of Ian Fleming, a fresh portrait of the man behind James Bond and his enduring impact by an award-winning biographer with unprecedented access to the Fleming family papers. Now, if you do not know, Ian Fleming created the character James Bond. That should be obvious. But what you may not know is that he was only a writer of thrillers in the last 12 years of his life. Before that, he was a spy working for England. And I'm presuming is he had to work with a lot of naval intelligence codes. So that's why I'm sticking him in the code category. This book is also going to be read for Dr. November, which is a different event which celebrates espionage works in fiction and nonfiction. This should be interesting. For path, I am choosing MacArthur's Bloody Butchers, Company G, the 163rd Infantry Regiment in the Pacific War, written by Brian Bruce. If you do not know, Brian Bruce is a booktuber. His channel is bookish. I consider him an internet friend. So when he announced that he was publishing a book, I, of course, ordered my book on Kindle. And I'm rather eager to read it. Now, it was published by Casement, which is a military history publisher. Not something I would normally pick up and read. But this is an account of Brian's uncle. I believe that is his correct family relationship. And this is an account of Company G, which started training in the Pacific Northwest, went to Australia, New Guinea, the Philippines, and on to Japan. So I'm a little eager to find out a little more about this World War II history. For Shot, I am reading Four Shots in the Night, a true story of spies, murder, and justice in Northern Ireland by Henry Hemming. The story of a political murder, the killing of an IRA member turned British informant. One man's death, his body found in broad daylight, with tape over his eyes, an undisguised hit. So why did one IRA man turn British informant? This book relies heavily on archival research, interviews, and new findings from a police investigation. But it's not only the story of one man's murder. It also tackles the larger questions about the Troubles and why that grew up in Ireland at that time. And I have to admit that I really do not know a lot about the Troubles, so it will be a new history for me. For Join, I am using it as two people joining together, or a memoir, or in this case, the joining of a human with an animal companion. I will be reading My Beloved Monster, Masha, the half-wild rescue cat who rescued me, by Caleb Carr. Caleb Carr is a known historian. He wrote some rather good books about the American Civil War. He is also known to have written thrillers, especially The Alienist. But this is the story of Caleb Carr, who rescued a cat. And if you know me, you know I have cats in my house, and I love them. So even though I do not normally jive well with memoirs, I'm going to give this one a shot because he's writing about a subject that is near and dear to me. I will also attempt to read a book that I think is going to give me the heebie-jeebies, the willies. It's going to stoke my ire because it is a book from a political point of view that is completely opposite of me. And I am going to be attempting to read this book under the idea of know thy enemy. And the book is Unhumans, The Secret History of Communist Revolutions and How to Crush Them, by Jack Posobiec. And the main headline that you see at Amazon is, if you don't understand communist revolutions, you aren't ready for what's coming. And this is a book that is going to attack liberalism, the woke mentality, and essentially accuse people who believe in these philosophies of being unhuman. We'll see how that goes, and a little more from the written description. But this is not a book about ideology or politics. Unhumans reveals that communism, socialism, Marxism, and all the other radicalisms are not philosophies, but tactics. Tactics that are specifically designed to unleash terror on everyday people and revoke their human rights to life, liberty, and property. These are the focus of unhumanity. This is what they do every single time. Unhumans steals their playbook, breaks apart their strategies piece by piece, and lays out the tactics of what it takes to fight back and win using real world examples. Unhumans is an essential read for every concerned citizen, both in the United States and worldwide. And we must stop what is coming. This book scares me just in its outline of what it believes. That's it. That's my TBR for Nonfiction November. Depending on how things go, I may try to squeeze in another book or two. Thank you for watching, and keep on reading.